Alice.
What do you want from me?
Humanity will cease to exist unless you return to the hive.
I don't trust you.
Behind you.
What are we gonna do?
I'm gonna kill every last one of them.
I wanna see how good it can be. Oh, won't you please take me home?
Prodigal daughter returns.
Baby. Yeah.
Okay, we might want to turn on the light because it's a little dark in here.
Better?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. My name is... Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amy, and welcome to Amy Loves Bad Movies. This is Josh,
Unfortunately.
and we're gonna go see Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. And I have had a certain love affair with this series since its beginning way back when. The movie series, not the game series necessarily, but you know. The first one was kind of its own, the first movie was kind of its own thing, but had like homage to like the first few Resident Evil games, you know, like being stuck in a manor or whatever.
The first one was definitely like supposed to be the first game.
And from there, and then like the second one was kind of like the second and third game, like taking place in a city and that sort of thing. From what I've been told.
So do you think they're
with
gonna
like
be...
the Nemesis Project and all that other stuff.
Right.
But after 3, they just kind of branched off from each other and didn't really meet back up again. There'd be some elements from the game, but not necessarily full on. We were we were watching the new game, the new Resident Evil 7 game.
Yeah, watching a little bit of it on YouTube.
Yeah. It looks awesome. So I want to play.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna get and go through with it, but
I might.
I've seen the first boss fight and it looks kind of insanely cool. So I might have to pick it up if I can find it.
Not to mention there's
somewhere.
so many homages to
I am not sponsored
horror.
by anybody. It's tough for me.
So we're gonna go and see the movie now, and we'll let you know how it was. I just can't wait for it. I think it's gonna be fun.
What is it, 30-something on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't care. I haven't even looked up its Rotten Tomatoes rating because I've loved every single one of these, with maybe the exception of Extinction. Extinction's kind of stupid. But I've still loved them all. So, kind of like the same way some people love all of Arnold Schwarzenegger's movies, even though sometimes those are pretty terrible too.
Well, it's because you can kind of laugh at it.
Yeah.
So
Same thing here.
Yeah.
Have you seen the advertisement for this movie? They are laughing at it.
Razor, now!
Right! You had a push!
So, we saw that movie. I liked it. But there was some definite flaws, but I liked it. I was going to like it. There was no not liking it for me. They would have had to really fuck it up. But no, I liked it. I do wish that the action scenes weren't cut so close in. That was my big problem, because I love these movies because of the long action widescreen takes with these really cool stunts and all this other stuff. Yeah, but no, they're too close in and you can't see what's going on, and it annoyed me because I could tell that there was some awesome stunt work going on, but we couldn't see it.
Yeah, watching this movie, there was I was reminded of an image that came. What are you doing with the fucking camera?
You weren't in the frame at all.
There was a study that went on, basically the amount of time spent on a shot over time. Back in the 80s or something like that, shots usually lasted maybe 10 seconds long. That's average seconds per shot. Nowadays, the average time spent on a shot is 4 seconds, because people think that unless you change something, nobody's paying attention. That's an actual thing that's going around. Watching this movie, I can easily see that being the average time per shot is barely a second.
It's constant too, and because this movie is action from beginning to end, there aren't a whole lot of quiet moments, which on one hand, yeah, that's what I came for, but on the other hand, I would like to get to know some of these people who are dying left and right, because almost none of the characters from the previous films are in this, except for the main antagonist and the main protagonist and Claire Redfield. I love Claire, but at the end of the last movie, I think we had like Claire, Ada Wong, Leon, the other Renfield, Chris. Like, we had like a bunch of the in-game characters, and it looked like a real melding of both universes. And then they come back in this one, and like, yeah, they all died.
It just opens with Wasteland, New York City. She made a joke like, look, it's Fallout. I'm like, this is Resident Evil, god damn it.
Well, it wasn't New York. That was DC. My joke was, hey, look, it's Fallout 3.
I'm pretty sure I said DC. Did I say Manhattan?
Yeah, you said Manhattan.
Oh, right.
That was the closing shot. The closing shot was Manhattan, which I thought she was in Raccoon City, but whatever.
Raccoon City is non-specific location in the USA.
Okay.
You can get to it within 2 days driving from DC, so it's definitely not Texas.
No. If it's 2 days from DC and still close enough to get to...
Oh, it's probably over in Colorado.
There are a couple of moments where I felt you go, oh, that's cool. Though. There were a couple.
Where?
When she was spilling the gasoline off the side of the building, you thought that was pretty cool.
I was like, yeah, that's typical siege tactics.
Okay.
I didn't say...
Oh. I thought that was your reaction.
The audience was loud, by the way.
Yeah, the audience was loud, but not as loud as the speakers for this goddamn thing. Like, the movie theater we were in is a new theater that we're trying out, and the volume was way too high.
I don't know if...
It made every jump scare feel like I was getting punched in the face with sound.
Yeah, and this is a very...
It was unpleasant.
Yeah, and this is a very jump scare laden movie. I mean...
It is, and you were calling them because I could feel him go like this, and then I'd be like, oh, there must be a jump scare coming. And sure enough, within, like, he would have just enough time to put his fingers in his ears, and then there'd be a jump scare.
Because it's like, okay, loud noises, sun blast of light, something like that.
You know what it was? It was literally like they would have the setup shot, and it would get quiet, and it was still. Anytime the movie was still for any amount of time, there was a jump scare coming.
So yeah, it's frenetically shot. It's got barely any color to it. Well,
it does, but there's always a high contrast. Either it's the high contrast red, black, and white, or it's the dingy sort of that Batman v Superman dingy look to it. And I kept comparing it to that while we were watching it, but that's what it kept reminding me of. I was like, man, these action scenes should be more exciting than they are, which was the exact same feeling I got in Batman v Superman. And it was because of the way they're shot and everything. It reminded me of that. Oh God, I would really like to enjoy this scene, but I'm being bombarded in the eyes with shaky cam and I can't figure out what's going on. No.
I really like the fact that the filmmakers, it seems they take a lot of inspiration from a lot of the different Resident Evil games, and there's a bunch of stuff that I saw. I was like, hey,
you can tell that this was inspired by that game. It's not so alien from it that you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, but I love the fact that they basically looked at Resident Evil 4. From my knowledge, they looked at Resident Evil 4, saw the laser hallway, and said, we gotta have a final boss fight there.
Oh, really? Because that laser fight thing, the hallway, that's in the very first Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
That's why it was such a big deal.
Okay.
that's how she knew where all the lasers and shit were gonna be.
Okay.
Because she'd done it before.
I haven't seen any of the Resident Evil movies, so
I plan on fixing that.
Final chapter.
But for all of its flaws, I still had a lot of fun. If you're a fan of the Resident Evil movies and you've stuck with it up till here, you're going to enjoy this. It's still a good movie. At least for the standards that we've set for the Resident Evil movies. I'd still say it's among the better ones. And I really liked it.
I just laughed when they got in the base. It was like, all right, it's time for this person to die. It's time for this person to die.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then the guy shows up next to Mia Jovovich. It's like, well, your turn.
That's just something that's been happening.
On the bright
not so much at the beginning of the series, because you got really attached to all the characters at the beginning of the series, and when they passed, it was really sad. But when we got to like movie 3, people were just dropping like flies, and you would get to know them very quickly, and then just they would be dead. And then in this one, it happened pretty bad.
It's a hyper frenzy. Here's a person's face. Oh no, they died. Feel sad.
I couldn't even tell who had died in the action scenes until they had the group shot after, and I was like, okay, who's still here?
It's amusing because they didn't even ask who.
They even had like. Okay, so there were 2 that really confused me that they died so quickly, and that others lived for much longer. There was a guy with a really cool sword who had sort of like this attitude problem, but it was still kind of fun.
Oh yeah, the machete.
Yeah, the machete with the big
but
like
call it machete.
Machete. And then there was the Newt of the movie, who was just this young, very pretty girl who I guess her and Amelia get attached to each other quickly, and then those 2 pass with like when they get after the siege and everything, they get to the hive because they have to go to the hive. Don't ask why, just go see the movie. They get to the hive. When they get to the hive, they don't even get to like the inner levels of the hive. They're still in the fucking entrance of the hive, and we've lost 2 of the characters I thought were gonna hang around, and we have 3 more. There's the bearded dude, and then there's Claire's boyfriend, and that's it. And Claire, and like, oh no, wait, there was one more guy. There was the British black guy. What was his name?
None of them had names.
No, they said them like once each. Like I think his name was like Razor or something. He had a really great voice. Every time he said a line, I was like, you have a great voice. But he didn't have any personality outside of that because they didn't really give him one.
The cameraman had ADD. I stopped paying attention.
Yeah.
It's obvious they're broadcasted. Even when they're not broadcast, it's like, oh, wait, I guess that guy died. Whoops.
Yeah.
There's no reason to care about anything in this movie.
Yeah. I feel like if they had kept the Resident Evil... I guess they just didn't want to have to kill off the Resident Evil cast from the last one that showed up. Because, you know, the Resident Evil series have always been kind of like a self-insert fan fiction type thing anyway. You know what I mean? With Amelia being the self-insert, because she's not an original part of the game. She was kind of like an amalgam of, I think, Jill and Ada, with the red dress and everything.
Well, points to them, because the Resident Evil story is just as bonkers, not so crazy as
I'm sure.
Are, so, whatever.
I just figured we would have cared more if the characters that were going into the Hive were characters that we had been with before, other than just Claire. Like I said, I love Claire. Claire's great. Maybe have more than just some ragtag group of red shirts go down there with you.
So what's next on the list?
Well, we were doing musicals next, right?
Oh, right.
There's a particular one I found on Netflix that I thought maybe...
What is this based on?
It might... Oh, it's
No.
based on a DreamWorks picture.
No!
We're gonna do Shrek the Musical.
Oh, fuck me in the fucking eye socket, why don't you? Why do you hate me?
I love you. Anyway, I sat through it, and I kind of want to sit through it with you, too. It's one of those shared misery experiences. With that being said, we'll see you guys next week, okay?
I'm gonna go fill myself with food that hopefully excites me more than the movie did, because the movie...
I thought it was fun.
Well, let's go.
Alright, bye.
Bye.
Welcome home.